It's crazy how education is more important than a person's work ethic, morals, and character. They say life is full of opportunities, but is it? What if you could get into the college of your dreams and never have to worry about class rank in your school as a way of getting accepted into a college that determines your future? Unfortunately, this has been a struggle for many hardworking students all around the state of Texas. The reality is, educational opportunities are geared towards those who are academically competitive enough within their own high schools. And this isn't right.
Senator, we're going to talk today about the top 10% law. In layman's terms, what is the top 10% law?
Top 10% law basically is that any high school student that graduates from the 12th grade in the top 10% of their class are automatically admitted to state colleges and universities. Texas Tech, A&M, UT, Texas State, etc.
I don't think the top 10% rule is the best tool to find out who can get into college.
I don't think the top 10% rule is fair.
10% rule does not evaluate character.
I think the top 10% rule is not fair.
Are you in favor of the top 10% rule?
No.
I don't think that the top 10% rule is very fair.
I do not think the top 10% rule is fair.
I'm in the top 10%, and I don't think that it's necessarily fair.
I think that by using the top 10% rule as one of the primary measuring sticks, they're overlooking many very quality students.
It's not rating you against like other people that you're going to be going to school with. So like it's going to be more competitive once you get to college.
Because there are a lot of different factors that contribute to a good student other than grade.
Being in the top 10 sometimes puts so much pressure on students to get grades that they tend to not take advantage of those other opportunities that they have.
The top 10% rule doesn't really always measure intelligence.
We all have really good grades and we all have good GPAs. It's not fair to just count the top 10.
Like don't think that grades determine you as a student or as a person.
A good college with well-rounded students are those who are focused on other things along with their grades. The top 10% rule only pulls in students who are focused on grades and aren't too concerned about the other things that make a college outstanding, like being involved in the community, school organizations, and grades. Instead of the top 10% rule for automatic acceptance, colleges should look at resumes, SAT scores, and GPA to determine who should get accepted into their colleges.
A lot of colleges are looking for well-rounded students, and if you're going to be a well-rounded student, you need to do all types of things like volunteer activities and extracurricular activities, and being in the top 10 sometimes puts so much pressure on students to get grades that they tend to not take advantage of those other opportunities.
I think colleges should look more at like what activities you're involved in and like what your GPA is, because if you're able to handle like a lot of activities outside school plus have a really good GPA, then that means you're a well-rounded student and you're more like productive and you can get things done.
We took a survey out of 100 people and 95% agreed that colleges should look at other things such as resume, SAT scores, and GPA to determine who should automatically be accepted.
We all should agree that the activities an individual is involved in shows how much they care about their community and how responsible they are. These characteristics would greatly make a college community outstanding and would positively reflect on a student's schoolwork and the school itself. Most top 10% students only care about grades and don't get involved.
With my high school career, I have done a lot more things than just school, I guess, because I've been involved in a lot of clubs and other activities because I really care about those things and I enjoy them, and I think it's part of learning and growing yourself as a leader. And I think that's important to me in getting like a job and a career and stuff. My older brother never did anything, and he wasn't involved in anything at all, and he literally just went home, did homework, and that was it. And he was in the top 10%, so he got into UT automatically without doing anything. But I would not get into UT because I'm not in the top 10%. I'm right outside of the top 10%.
Are people looking for one thing you've done extremely well, or sort of a broad and well-rounded, kind of extracurricular profile? The answer to the question, of course, is yes.
The GPA that determines who gets into the top 10% at your high school versus a student's individual GPA are two completely different things. Allowing rank to decide who the smartest students are is a terrible way to decide who would be the best students.
The image demonstrates how the top 10% rule represents the unfair battle between the academically competitive high schools in Texas versus the ones that aren't very competitive. The tiny guy on the bottom is going up against two other football players at a very academically competitive high school. Clearly, both of the enormous players going up against the little guy are much stronger. However, only one of the strong football players are in their school's top 10%, leaving the other one left out from being accepted.
This also leaves struggles for the students that come from less academically competitive high schools. The dropout rates for the students are greatly increased due to the advanced curriculum that the students were not prepared for.
If colleges want to accept students academically, they should look at the SAT scores before rank, because everybody takes the same test. So it's fair all across the board to look at the scores of the SAT opposed to the class rank.
Where did you end up going and how?
I went to the University of Alabama because they gave me a really good scholarship due to my SAT score.
What colleges did you apply to?
I applied to the University of Alabama, the University of Texas, Texas Tech, and Texas Christian University.
And which ones did you get into?
I got into Tech, TCU, and Alabama.
So you did not get into Texas?
No.
Do you believe that the top 10% rule allows the best students to be at Texas colleges?
I believe it's the best system that we can have. As always, there's going to be flaws with any system, but I believe it's the best thing that we can have in place.
What extracurricular activities did you do in high school?
I was a Round Rock cheerleader, I did dance team, I did PALS, and Star Cheer.
Didn't you do NHS as well?
And I was in NHS.
The top 10% rule provides an incentive to cheat simply because it guarantees students a higher chance to be placed in the top 10%. All honest students fail to get recognized simply because they follow school rules.
I think there is a lot of cheating between the people who are in the top 10%.
Yes.
Yes?
I would say that at least half of the people in the top 10% have cheated their way through.
And it's annoying because I work hard.
In 2011, the automatic acceptance rate for UT was the top 10%. In 2012, it went to the top 8%, and by the time of 2015, it was the top 7%.
Freshman Kristen Bray graduated in the top 8% of her high school class.
It's kind of a sad thing because, I know that I wouldn't automatically get accepted, but I also believe that I would have worked harder because UT was my ultimate goal to come here.
We can all see that the 10% rule is not an efficient way to determine which students are to be admitted into Texas colleges. Colleges need to consider removing this rule in order to get more well-rounded and high-achieving students.